Hello, this is Mrs. Neubauer, and let's work on our penmanship. So, what starts with an E, ends with an E, but only contains one letter? An envelope. Get it? Spell envelope with the E. Hope you like my joke. All right, so our lesson goal number 4 for our C is for cursive class is to start writing letters. We're going to start off with the O, C, and the A letters. So we have been practicing our warm-up. So let's just continue to we'll do our air warm-up, and then that'll relate to the lesson. So if you haven't already, make sure you're giving the L, your ears are over your shoulders, back's nice and straight, your arms are on a desk. And we'll start with our up and down vertical lines. Make them smaller, and just make them with your fingers. And we have our circles. We'll do some big circles, smaller circles. Let's do some smaller circles, big circles. Okay, and then the same thing with our fingers, warming up those fingers. All right, now we have our over curves. So over curve, back and forth, over curves. All right, and some small over curves. Now let's do the undercurves, back and forth. Okay, and some small undercurves. And the compound, ready? Compound curves. We'll just do them together, back and forth. All right, compound curves, up and down, really small with your fingers. And our loops, small loops. Actually, you know what? Let's do them together. Small little loops, loop, loop, loop. And we'll do some with the fingers. The finger ones are harder, aren't they? Large loops, big loops. Okay. And big loops with our fingers. All right, great warm up. Okay, so O, C, and A is the goal for today. Basically, we're just going to do just like we've been doing. We're going to start with that curve. We're going to go up. We're going to touch a little bit underneath. And then we're going to go back around to create that O and a little exit stroke. So the exit strokes actually are going to connect eventually to the next letter. We have our C. The C is going to be curving up. It's going to curve down a little bit and then come back around and stop. And the last one is almost like them put together. We have an A. So we're going to curve up and stop, curve back around. This time we have a little bit, remember that vertical line straight down, but then we curve at the bottom. We have that undercurve. So they might look a little challenging, but we're going to do them together and hopefully get this done. Our first 3 letters of our lesson goal number 4. I'm going to switch cameras. I'll be right back. Okay, so number 4, we're going to say is our circle siblings. Circle siblings. Circle siblings, number 1. So we have our lowercase letter O, C, and A. We're going to trace over letters by staying in the lines and then try some on our own. Okay, so I already kind of went over what the O looks like, and with my worksheets, I've created these all by myself, so they're all done by my hand and not a computer. So that way you know you can also do these by hand. Which we do is we are going to have 3 strokes put together, but remember cursive is all about keeping your pen on that paper and it can move back and forth. Remember when we were doing your yarn exercises, it's like a piece of yarn or a string. It's just going to keep going on your paper. Okay, so the O, you want to trace over and it connects. So you're going to start at the bottom, kind of do a curve to the top, and then you're going to go back your O, make almost a circle, and then our last part is just a little exit stroke, a little curve at the bottom. So let's practice tracing over my 4, and then you're going to try some on your own. So you're going to curve and come up and touch, go backwards, do your circle and touch, and then do your exit stroke to connect to the next letter. Try it again. Going to curve and come up. And stop right a little bit beneath the dash line, go all the way back, make a circle, and then go back to the right and do your exit stroke. Okay, practice tracing mine. This is going to help create that muscle memory. You're getting used to the form and the strokes put together. And last one. Okay, we're going to curve and come up, come back down, come back around, and the exit stroke. Okay, now you might want to try to slow it down a little bit and try it on your own. So curve and come up. You're going to curve, I do the kind of over curve, but you're going to stop right when you get that dash line, go backwards, do your O, just like when we did in Prince, and then exit stroke, a little curve at the end. Okay, I'm trying to stay in the lines, don't go over the dash line, nice, slow, and controlled. Don't go underneath the bottom line, or baseline as we call it. Good. Okay, and you're going to continue on. So if you want to pause the video, you can continue on. Otherwise, I'm going to show you the letter C. Okay, so the letter C has 2 strokes to connect. So same form. You're starting at the bottom. You're doing that curve up, little under curve and stop, and then you're going to go back to do your C. It's almost like the printed C, but you just don't want to lift your pen. You want them to connect. So under curve, gonna go down a little bit to show that you have that C. Come back, curve around, and bring it out to our next letter. So you just kind of have to imagine that if we're gonna say C, remember C is for cat. C would be connected to your A to make your cat. Curve it back down and up. Good. So same thing, just keep tracing over mine, curve it back and up. And the last one. So usually we have 3 or 4 of my examples to trace over, and then you're going to start on your own. Okay, same thing. You're going to curve down, come up, curve it down a little bit, and then go back, do your C and your exit stroke. Okay, so continue on finishing your C's on your row. You can pause the video and continue. Otherwise, we have our last letter, A. A as in our apple. So our last circle sibling, number 1. So the reason why we call it a sibling is because they have that same O in their letters. And we're going to have another siblings for our lesson 5 too. So same stroke, start off with curve it down, curve it up. Just like the O and the C, we both go back, do a curve. And this time, remember, we're not going to lift our hand, but I'm just showing you the last one. Just cuts down and then does an under curve for its exit stroke. All right, let's put those 3 together. I'm going to go up, touch, a little bit down, bring it back, do your circle. And then this time, this one's a little bit straight down and curve at the bottom and touch. All right, this one's a challenging one for today. See if you can get it. Curve it up, go back, touch the bottom, curve it back, straight down and under curve as we end the A. Okay, we have 2 left to trace. And creating that muscle memory. Make sure to check your posture. Make sure you're still giving the L. You're not hunched over trying to look at your letter closer. So you're still holding your pen or pencil correctly and you're not clenched. So it's good to stop, especially when you get tired. You tend to lose your form. You have some habits. Okay, and then try one on your own. So you might want to slow it down. I'm going to curve and come up, curve and stop. And you go, don't lift that pen, go back, do your circle. When you touched, you go straight down, and right before you get to the bottom, curve and come up. Okay, so you're going to continue on and finish your A's all the way to the end. And then the last 4 are to help practice connecting. So you're just going to continue your O's and connect them this time. So sometimes your O's are going to stay up, like we start at the bottom with the O, like if we were going to do O as an owl. But sometimes it's going to connect, like say we have box. Box would be connecting. So we're just going to practice our O's connecting at the top. So same thing, come back down, do your circle. And then instead of leaving it at the end, you're going to do like a curve back up and start your next O. So this is another way to practice your cursive. It's just to repeat your letter over and over, and you get used to connecting. So just think of it, remember cursive's like one big string of letters. You're not picking up your pen. You pick up your pen once or twice. We'll get to those letters soon, but usually you don't pick up your pen. Cursive is a faster form of handwriting than print. Okay, once you get to the end, you're not going to stop. You're going to continue to connect your O's all on your own. So when we're touch at the top, curve around to the bottom, touch and curve back. And you can continue on. The same thing, I have it for your C. This almost looks like waves, doesn't it? Remember our joke we had for warm-up number 2? What letter stands for the ocean? And then the cursive, it actually does look like. Okay, so that's a lot of work today. You guys are challenged with your O, C, and A. I feel like we're pretty much getting our goal down of learning to write the letters, and now it's your turn to practice. So make sure you continue practicing your sheets. If you don't like the way they're looking, you can print off another sheet and keep practicing. The tracing does really help because you get used to how the letters are formed. All right, well remember to keep practicing, and progress over perfection.